Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Valdha Verzanola, English Education Study Program, Faculty of Tarbiyah and Teaching Science, Teacher and Fatah Islamic University. Okay, next I want read this book. Literal reading. Chapter 10, page 135. Is there a safe way to drink? Okay, we start now. Is there a safe way to drink? The author of this article is Dr. Maurice Kevitz, President of the Health Education Foundations and Principal Research Scientist and the Johns Hopkins University Metropolitan Center for Planning and Research. As an authority on alcoholism and drug abuse, Dr. Kevitz is particularly interested in educating people to drink in a safe, responsible manner. Number 1. I have devoted most of my professional life to the problems of alcohol and its abuse, most recently as director of the National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism. So I've spent much of my time trumpeting the fact that alcohol is a drug and that alcohol abuse is the most serious drug problem this nation faces. Nonetheless, I believe firmly that alcohol can do more good than harm, for this is a safe way to drink. Number 2, pharmacologically, alcohol is an anesthetic, not a stimulant. In moderate amounts, it's appeared to stimulate because it inhibits those brain centers which restrict lascivity, our birds, as well as those which make us aware of exhaustions. Then we feel physically able and emotionally free, but with increasing doses. Alcohol puts to sleep the brain center which affect judgment, knowledge, and social controls. Sufficient dosage can put us to sleep for keeps by anesthetizing those centers which control breathing and heartbeat. Number 3, responsible people. Therefore must use rather careful the time, place, and circumstance of drinking. Obviously, if you are to engage in complex mental or physical activities, writing, driving, business, it is clearly appropriate to be under the influence of an anesthetic drug. On the other hand, if you are going to be sharing a meal or some other human interchange in a relaxed way, alcohol can be a rewarding adjunct to the experience, a true servant of man. Number 4, an essential point is that there is a known safe level of drinking in preparing the second report to the Congress on Alcohol and Health. We found that researchers all over the world were independently using the same level to define safe or moderate drinking. 1/2 ounce of pure alcohol per day, the equivalent of 3 1/1 drink of 100 proof whiskey, which is 50% alcohol, for 8 ounce glasses of beer or half a bottle of wine. Number 5, this limit, of course, is only a statistical approach. For some people, even 1 drop of alcohol is too much, nor do our findings permit saving of 1 day's rations. In order to drink more the next day, and at times such any individual wishing to remain within the safe limits consume more than 1/2 ounce of pure alcohol in a single day. Number 6, studies show that the driver who has consumed an amount of alcohol within this limit is no more likely to have an automobile accident than the driver who does not take any alcohol. But beyond these limits, when the blood alcohol level, the concentrations of alcohol in the blood, begins to creep over the point 0.5% sober level, the risk of a traffic accident jumps enormously. By the time the blood alcohol level reaches 0.2%, the level of most drunk drivers who are arrested, the risk of an accident is 100 times that of the non-drinking driver. 7. The manner of drinking is also critical. One should always sip slowly. Alcohol is a highly unusual foodstuff in that at least 20% of it is absorbed directly from the stomach into the bloodstream without going through any digestive process. Therefore, gulping alcohol produces a sudden, marked rise in the alcohol level in the blood and hence in the brain. Once alcohol is in the bloodstream, nothing with the exceptions of a kidney dialysis machines can clear it from the blood more quickly than the body's own steady metabolic rate of 3/4 of ounce of the pure alcohol per hour. 8. Another rule of safe drinking is that food in the stomach, preferably protein or fatty products, affects effectively delays alcohol invasion of our system. Food covers the stomach wall, making capillaries less accessible. It also spawns off the alcohol and carries it gradually through the digestive process, slowing absorptions and allowing the metabolism and brain to adapt. So, as any experienced drinker knows, the same dose taken with food in the stomach will provide a more pleasant outcome than alcohol on an empty stomach. Number 9. A number of other factors also influence our response to a drink. It's best not to take alcohol when physically, or emotionally upset, lonely, or in need of a solace. It is true that alcohol anesthetic effect will dull the pain of loneliness, but alcohol is no substitute for another person. In other words, do not drinking alone. 10. It's also best to drink in a relaxed setting. If I had to come up with an unhealthy drinking situations, I would have created the American cocktail party, standing around uncomfortably in crowds of people, most of whom one does not know, and tends to gulp the first drink. People like to think that the alcohol at cocktail parties makes it easier to get acquainted and the city and the sights, the fact that strangers frequently pour at intimate details of their lives. In my judgment, a stranger sharing intimacies so freely is not relating to you. He is relating to himself. 11. A medical college once tasted this at a cocktail party when a woman was pouring out her heart to him. I have just murdered my grandmother. He sighed. The woman smiles with his sigh. Is not that nice? And Babylon. 12. Regardless of where and how you drink, what you escape from alcohol is what you get. As with almost all drugs, escapism is strongly related to outcome. If you're part of a group that wants to act drunk, even with small doses you feel drunk. 13. It's best then to drink with people who set exceptions that are socially usually and not restrictive. Too many Americans preoccupied with drinking fail in this regard. We spend a good deal of time thinking about drinking or talking about it. Our liquor advertisement imply that alcohol is proof of sophistications and word lines, or else is funny. Just think about how we laugh when a comedian acts drunk. Thinking something is funny is a society way of giving it social sanctions. Is it also a sign of discomfort from jokes or a safe way to ventilate their worries? Study after study has shown that Americans are uncomfortable, ambivalent, almost worrying about their use of alcohol. 14. Why is countries so uptight about drinking? In my opinion, one major reason is that our society places a great deal of stock in order and control, and being overdosed with a drunk means being out of control. When we see someone who has lost control, it turns our sense of control. Alcoholism is threatening because so many of us use alcohol. When we see an alcoholic, we are afraid that we could become alcoholics also. 15. If our culture were more open and less guilty about alcohol, I think we could do more for people with an alcohol problems. We might also do more for our children. Surprise complete in 1975 saw that children in this country between the age of 12 and 17 are already manifesting febrile alcohol abuse. In fact, 5% of these kids get drunk at least once a week. 16. What can parents do? For one thing, they can alter the use of alcohol in the home. I contend that we teach our children about alcohol very early. Toddlers notice that's when mommy and daddy drink this particular liquid. They behave differently. The children cannot miss the fact that is it something special, especially when we tell them they cannot have it because it's not good for you. 17. I see no harm in becoming more relaxed about alcohol in the home, even giving your child a taste if you're drinking and he wants it. Why not other cultural do? In a matter-of-fact way, Chinese, Lebanese, Spanish, Jewish, and Italian people do not think there is anything special about giving alcohol to their young. Nobody makes a fuss about it, and this cultural use alcohol without appreciable problem. 18. Indeed, always to focus on alcohol in the context of alcoholism is, I think, to miss the point. If you are preoccupied with alcohol, if you or others in your environment are disqualified by the first preoccupations, if alcohol interferes with your ability to function in other necessary ways, then you have an alcohol problem. 19. Our country is very concerned these days with safety and health. We have to remind ourselves that anything that affects human being has a potential for harm. Into great quantity, even oxygen and water, thus essentially of life, can harm or kill. So life is a risk, and I suspect that the only sure way to be safe from disease and dying is to be dead. 20. But there are safe limits that people can use in making their decisions about risk-taking, such as choosing to drink or not to drink or how much to drink. We ought to share with young and old alike the best available knowledge on such subjects, and then let each individual make up his or her own mind. Okay guys, thank you. I think that's enough. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.